Okay, so we're doing something that's slightly different this time. So the pasuk we're doing is 2019, okay, which we'll read in a second. Actually, we'll read it now. But the different thing we're doing is that we're this is like the first time we're going out of order just based on similarity in the psukim. Okay, so we're gonna do this and then we're gonna get back to chapter 11. At least that's the plan. Okay, so let's do this and then actually no, sorry. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna read the last pasuk, but we're not gonna review the ideas. Okay, and that way, what I would really like is the people who weren't here last time can see it fresher than we can. And those of us who were here, let's try to keep it on the back burner, okay, not on the front burner. And then we could bring it in if need be. I'd really like to approach tonight's pasuk fresh, but with this like floating around the back of our mind. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so last week's pasuk said, this is 11:13, Holech Rachel Megale Sod, V'ne'eman Ruach Machase Davar. And the translation we ended up going, well, we went with a couple translations, but the working translation was one who goes as a gossip monger will reveals a secret, but we didn't do counsel. Okay, but a trustworthy spirit conceals or covers a matter or statement. Okay, so the part that we're focusing on here is holech rachli magale sod. Now, if you look at tonight's pasuk, it's exactly the opposite. Gole sod holech rachel. Okay, so let's just translate that. One who reveals a secret goes as a gossip monger. Okay, and thank you to Michael Zoldan, is he here, for making the full list of all the monger terms on the Mishlei chat. That was enlightening. Okay, all right. Anyway, so what about the next half? Ulapose sefasav lotis arav. Okay, so right away, pose sefasav is a weird phrase. Okay, and as you can see here, pose comes from two possible meanings. Either it comes from either it's a weird word for to be spacious or to be wide or to be open. Or it comes from our more familiar term in Mishlei, pata, like to be simple, like pesi, like Mishlei pesi, like a simpleton. So how do you translate ulipose safasav lotis arav? It's not smooth. Yeah.
And to open one's mouth.
Close.
Lips.
Yeah.
Lips. He's not. He won't be in famine. Arav.
That's ra'ev. That's the yeah.
I don't know.
It does not mean
mixed.
Arab either. Mixed. Okay. Mixed. Yeah. Mixed. Okay. So one who reveals the secret goes as gossipmonger. Okay. Now this is the weird part. Okay. And so li is two. Okay. But a lot of the Mefarshim say that you should translate it here as with, and I think the with actually makes more sense. So I'm going to put it first. With, and then poses fasav is I believe it's a noun. Okay, so one who opens wide his lips, do not mix. Okay, do not mix with one. Let's just make this in the way we say it in English. And do not mix with one who opens wide his lips. Okay, so that's one translation. Another translation would be, another one would be, and do not mix with or to, okay, well, I'm gonna keep the two in there just so we remember it, with one who is a fool, with foolish lips. Okay, and foolish lips, we keep that loose because what do you call it? Because we've had a term before of the fool of the lips. This is a different thing, and it's using it as a verb, like one who fools his lips, fools with his lips. I am not exactly sure how to who lip fools, not sure how to say it. Okay, yeah. Right?
Question: can you just to contrast it to the flow of the translation of the first pasuk?
Yeah. One who goes as a gossip. You know what? Maybe I'll just copy and paste that and put it on the same document.
The first half is fine.
Yeah. Hold on. So I'm gonna do. Oh, actually, yeah. You know what? Hold on. Okay. So, and then we're gonna make it smaller so that people don't get mixed up about which pasuk we're actually learning. Oh, you know what? We'll make it gray. Okay. Okay, so let's do our usual routine and look at our minimalist Mefarshim before we ask our questions and have the same problem that always happens every shiur now, where I can't delete it without accidentally opening it in Paint. Delete and delete. Okay. Oh, you know what? That was actually interesting. Entice is another word. Okay, that's actually with enticing lips.
Wait, also, you might
Yeah.
want to save it under your other.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Oh, and you know, the awkward thing also, I have to actually do March 2022 because we actually learned this pasuk last year in my morning Mishlei Shiur, and I have no recollection of it. So I didn't. I part of me wanted to go back and listen to the shiur, but I decided not to because I wanted to get a fresh idea first. Okay, so Metzudas David says Ulaposa is miloshan pesi v'shote. So he goes with a full interpretation, and then tis arav is lashon miloshan tarovos is mixture. Okay, so that's as we have it. Saadia Gaon says hamagale hasod harezeh holech rachel, one who reveals the secret. Behold, this one goes as a gossip monger, ulfikach al tisarav im pesi b'dvarav, and therefore do not mix with someone, with one who is a fool in his words. Okay, and you know what? I do have to actually mention this here. The Pesi is a specific type of Mishleic fool. Okay, Pesi is a Mishleic fool who is like ArtScroll always translates it as a simpleton. I like translating it as like a gullible person, but not gullible as in like oh, what's written on the ceiling. Gullible as in like easily manipulable sense of reality. You know, like there's a pasuk in Mishlei, I think 14:15 or something that says Pesi yamin l'chol davar, that Pesi believes anything. But the way that what it really means basically is that you can very easily convince him of anything because he's very open, but he's also not very experienced in knowledge. And his emotions are very easily enticed.
Impressionable, no?
Impressionable, yeah. Impressionable is actually a good word for Pesi. Yeah, he's very an impressionable fool. Yeah, yeah.
What about
Okay.
malleable?
Malleable is good. Malleable, I feel like malleable is too specific compared to impressionable. Malleable like suggests that he's just there for he's like a lump of clay. He's there for the
you mold him and what do you want him to be in a certain situation.
Yeah, but that's not like I think that's a little bit too utilitarian. Like a tzaddik is not going to want to mold him. The tzaddik is going to want to help him develop. And
he wants to mold him into the person who will develop.
Okay, if you want to view him as a multiple person, then you can do that. That's I'm not going to stop you. Okay. Okay, Targum, which we might skip this time because it was we'll see. Degali Raza Achal Kurza Ulman de Mishargig Bisif Vase Lo Tischalet. Okay, yeah. I'm actually gonna skip this one. We have enough on our plate for now to be worried about the Targum. Okay, now this was an interesting thing with the three English translations, they all take very different approaches here. ArtScroll, with a revealer of secrets, a bearer of tales, or a simpleton of lips, do not mingle. So they make it into a list. Holech Rachel, Magalis Sod, and Ne'eman Ruach. Those are, sorry, that's not our pasuk. Golis Sod, Holech Rachel, and Aposes of Hasav. Okay, all three people. All right, do not mingle. All right, so we're going to keep this ArtScroll here because this is actually different than the way we took it. Living Knox says, do not mix with a person who reveals secrets, spread slander, or prattles. Okay, again, I don't like translating Rachel as slander because slander means making up malicious lies, whereas Rachel just means, how did we define it last time? I think we said indiscriminately sharing other people's personal information. You know, not necessarily negative, but just like indiscriminately without any view of like how sensitive or how damaging the information can be if it's heard by the wrong people or in the wrong context. Okay, so let's delete this. And then Alter says laying bare secrets. Now he says laying bare secrets, the gossip goes around, but I'm pretty sure when he says gossip, he means gossiper, like the town gossip. Okay, so I put the ER there. Laying bare secrets, the gossiper goes around. Don't trust yourself to a blabbermouth. Now, blabbermouth, I think, is a good contemporary term for one who opens wide his lips. Okay, like it has that connotation of just like you know loose talking. In fact, let's just use that term. Okay, with a blabbermouth. Okay, so we are now at the questions and problems stage. Okay, so what are our questions? Hold on just 1 second. Let me just fix the alignment here. And some of these questions obviously will be the same as the ones we've had, the one we had last week.
Can you go to that pasuk for a second? I just want to see the one who goes as a rachel reveals sod, one who reveals a secret. Okay, it's awesome. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Were you here last week?
Yeah, I
you were,
was there
right?
last
Okay,
week.
Yeah.
I forgot what we said. It's just funny how like it's not like you could go either way. It's like a two-way.
Yeah, well, so let's actually address that. That's like the element in the room here. So plain shot of holich rachel megali sod and golei sod holich rachel means that they're the same person, right? But the way we learned it last time, which I believe was based on the Rabbeinu Yonah, was if you are holich rachel, then you will be megali sod. It's saying that the chiddush, the new idea, is in the megali sod, the fact that he'll reveal a secret. So in other words, last week the pasuk was talking to someone who says, okay, this is a gossip monger, but there's no way he's going to reveal my secret. This week it's talking about it's the other way around. So you can learn it that it's just saying the same thing in different different words, or you can learn it as
But I will ask only because we are 9 prakim later.
Yeah.
Asking in retrospect, like, is this the same person?
Okay, yeah. So let's just be very vague like this. Okay, what is the relationship between the gossip monger and the revealer of secrets? Okay, are they the same person? Does one quality lead to the other? Is one quality more fundamental in each pasuk? Yeah. Okay, other questions?
What's the chiddush? One who reveals a secret is a gossip monger.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that the definition of a gossip monger?
Okay, and so now you. Okay, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to like take attendance here, but I want to ask who was here last week, because I need to know if you're asking from. You were?
I was not here.
You're not here. Okay, good. All right, so that's a fresh question. Okay, so so Yosef's asking is, what is the chiddush? Okay, the new insight. Okay, isn't the isn't what do you say? Isn't someone who gossip by definition revealing secrets? Is that what you said?
No, I'm saying. Basically, isn't a gossip monger someone who reveals a secret?
Okay, so let's say isn't it obvious that a gossip monger is someone who reveals a secret?
Or like you're saying, like, isn't gossiping the fact that you're revealing other people's stuff, or you're talking about other people? Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So that's gonna be a major question here. What is the new insight that this pasuk is telling us? Okay. What else?
What's the problem with mixing with these people?
Yeah. Okay. What is the problem with mixing with these people? And then let's actually just ask the definition question also. What does it mean by mixing? Okay. By mixing. Yeah. Hold on just 1 second. I think I just skipped over something really important. Hold on. I think Alter had a different translation of. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is another thing. Okay. So I didn't see anyone yet who translated it like this other than Alter. So he says, don't trust yourself to a blabbermouth. Okay. Where's he getting this from? So he's getting it. So arev can either mean to mix, like ta'aroves, like in kashrus, or like erev, like evening, which means like twilight, mixing of lights.
Oh, like a guarantor?
Or it's a guarantor, right? So like Kol Yisrael arev mizeh b'zeh. All of Israel is guarantor for.
Or din arev,
yeah. You know what I'm thinking we need to do? Okay,
yeah, this is gonna be a problem. There are many different ways of reading.
I know. So you know what I think we need to do? Do we need to pull out the boxes? Okay, let's pull out the box method. Okay. I don't think we've done this on Monday night yet. I think this is a morning Mishlei thing. Okay. So let's go like this. Wait, hold on just a second. Let's do it like that. Hold on. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, one who reveals a secret, or one who reveals counsel. Holich Rachel goes as a gossip monger. Okay, that one's gonna be the same for both of them. Okay, and then ulafosef sfasav and okay, hold on a second. No, maybe this is gonna be too complicated. You'll see what I'm trying to do in a second if you don't already see. And one and with one who is a blabbermouth, and with one who has enticing lips, do not mingle or do not trust. Okay, so that was actually simpler than I thought. I don't know if this encompasses all of them. So the idea behind this is you mix and match, right? So let's say you wanted, so when we get to the idea part, when we get to the idea part, you'll have to tell me, like, are you saying, hold on a second here. Let's merge this. Oh, no, whatever. Are you saying one who goes with a gossip monger, and with one who has enticing lips, do not mingle, right? Like that. Or are you going, with a different combo, So we'll just keep that up there. And then we also, we'll keep Saadia Gaon here. Yeah, Saadia Gaon is like making an argument. One who reveals, there are a lot of translations here. Not gonna lie. Okay, all right, let's continue listing our questions here.
So one question that's kind of bugging me a bit is that seems like a very imbalanced pasuk, in the sense that it's like it's all on one side of the pasuk, like it's missing.
Lopsided?
Yeah. There's one action, there's only one, like it seems like there's one person or one character potentially. At least we'd have to work at like differentiating more characters. So like where's the person you should mix with? Where's like
okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so let's phrase that. Okay, so that's a different question than I thought you were asking. So one question in what you're asking, maybe we could list the other ones, is what is the opposite of this pasuk? Now, I think I just want to clarify here. This does not, I wouldn't say who should you mix with, because that could be many people, like mix with the tzaddik and the navon and the mavin and the chacham.
Oh, definitely. But
right,
what I mean more is that, like, why is he leaving it? Like normally he gives a plus and a minus.
Right.
Like, why is he leaving out the plus?
What is the alternative decision? Right. I think would be a more precise way to put it.
Meaning it could be
why
like,
does he leave it out?
When he like he could say who to mix with and it would let us know more about the idea he's saying, but he doesn't. Meaning,
Right.
like, I'm just curious why he's phrasing his advice differently here.
Okay, I hear the question. Yeah, I think this question will lead us to where you're going, which is, assuming that Mishlei is always going to be either explicitly or implicitly telling you make this decision and don't make that decision. Here he's only telling you one side of that equation, especially if you go with the translation that it's saying don't mingle with these three people. Yeah, Yosef?
For the second part, right? Oh, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, that's fine.
Can I ask a question?
May I
Yes,
may I ask
yeah.
what counsel? Can you
What?
Can you define counsel? Because that sounds like a more positive thing.
Yeah. Okay. So if sod, so let's put it in terms of the question. What is a sod? A secret or a counsel? Okay. And if it means, and in either way, what kind of secret or what kind of counsel? Yeah.
Where is it used as a counsel?
The sod kedoshim rabbah. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. I don't know where that comes from. We say it in Slichos, but let me kel naretz b'sod kedoshim, something like that. Okay. It is used in, is this one I was thinking? Nope, that's our pasuk. Awkward. Am I sharing the whole screen? Are you seeing the all Torah? Okay. Counsel, is there a pasuk in Chumash where it uses it like that? Oh yeah. So this is like in the brachos to Shimon and Levi, or the negative brachos. Shimon and Levi achim klei chamas mecherosehem. So Shimon and Levi are brothers. Weapons of violence are their mecheros, however you want to translate it. The sodam al tavo, do not go into their council. Like, don't get into their their group. Their group of like conspirators maybe is a better thing. Yeah, but apparently there's a lot. Look at that. A lot of translations. In fact, Torah doesn't even list secret. I think we noticed this last time. Yeah.
Wait.
Of men of my intimate circle, in the intimate
Isn't-
circle of assembly or company. Sod Yesharim.
Isn't sod in that context mean like doesn't it mean like conspiracy? Like
So here's my theory. Okay, my theory is this all Torah dictionary is biblical Hebrew, and we know sod. If you ask like any like student of Gemara or whatever what a sod is, they would say it means a secret. So my theory is that the original meaning was counsel, and since counsel is something that is only shared between a few people, then the secondary meaning became secret later on. So it does mean. It does, I guess, have the implication of like the knowledge is limited to this group of people, but the essence, I guess, is the fact that it's a small group of people. That's what it seems like.
Gotcha.
Examples. Yeah.
Can I go back to the pasuk and ask questions?
Yeah, just 1 second. I just want to see one thing. If the Sefer HaShorashim of the Radak, anything. No, never mind. This is not going to help us. Okay, yeah, back to the pasuk. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to analyze Saadia Gaon for a second. Just ask questions on him. It seems like he's saying two things in the second half of the pasuk. One who reveals the secret. Behold, this one goes as a gossip monger. Is emphasizing that point, like there's something wrong with being around him or that specifically. And he's also saying something additional. Do not mix with one who is a fool in his words. Like first of all, what does that mean?
Yeah. Right.
Secondly, like is that a gossip monger?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So let's actually make this in yeah, you know what? See, I'm kind of tempted to go like this. Okay. If the first half of the pasuk is read as its own clause, okay, so then what is the relationship between the gossip monger and the various? Okay. If not, what is the relationship between all three individuals? Okay, and then especially according to Saadia Gaon. Okay, in other words, if you take the R Scrolls translation and it says don't mix with these three people, so then there's obviously some relationship between the three. Saadia Gaon also holds there's some relationship between the three, but it's like a chain of reasoning. One reveals a secret, so I'm going to tell you he is a gossip monger. And as a result of that, you should therefore not mix with someone who is a fool in his words. Well, what does someone who's a fool in his words have to do with these guys?
Did we ask that question? Because that was
that's why I don't know if this is the smoothest way to ask the questions. I think like we do have a choice.
Are you saying something like if they're the same, then why is there this redundancy? And if they're different, then why are they putting these different elements together?
We can add that in. Are they the same person? If so, why the redundancy? And then
I'm just asking something else. I'm just really asking, like, there's a gossip monger, someone who spreads secrets, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a fool in those words.
Right.
If yes, okay, fine. If they are a fool in those words, fine. What does that mean? But however, like, it just seems like he's taking a completely different route, unrelated to secrets or gossip mongering, and like this guy is just gonna have full in his words. And what is that like? And what does that mean?
Right. Yeah.
To me,
So I think that question will encompass will include in this the way I formulated it here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good question. I just think it's like if we tried to spell out every permutation of that question, it's going to be even more confusing. I'm just going to just simplify this.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's clear to me, then and you typing it up, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Forget about everyone else. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean,
okay, I know.
It's not clear to them.
Yeah.
Being straight up.
Okay. Yes.
Between a blabbermouth. I know you literally just wrote or like you just did that change.
Yeah.
But are you gonna make that decision when we come up with an explanation, or are we like can we talk about that now? Because I feel like
wait, sorry, for which one? For how we're translating poses fasav?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we did not list that. I guess we didn't list that. Okay, so let's do though. Let's also just ask all three questions, which we didn't do because we did that on the last one. Okay, hold on a second. What is a Rachel? Sorry, a Rachel gossip monger in this context? What is a Gole Sod, revealer of secrets, counsel in this context? What is a Pose Safasav? A what do you call a blabbermouth or fool / enticer of lips? Yeah, in this context. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, are these qualities or like defining like
Right.
what kind of qualities are these? So
Okay.
that was my question
Yeah.
from earlier.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna ask that here. Okay, and I think I know what you mean. Do you mean that like that are these like is it referring to these just as activities of normal people, or is this
Exactly,
like
exactly.
Okay, good.
I was about
All
to say, is it a defining feature?
Yeah. Are these three qualities being referred to simply as actions or as defining features of the personality? Yeah. Anything else?
It's like the game Telephone. That's
What's like the game Telephone? Saadia Gaon?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Are we ready for thinking?
Yeah. Oh
Okay,
wait, who's the
Slander.
audience? Okay, fine, now we're ready.
Oh yeah. That's an important one. Do we say the practical? We said the chiddush, but okay. What's who is the audience and what is the practical application? Yeah, I mean the practical application is don't mix, but if you read this as a separate clause, then you have to incorporate the first half somehow into a practical implication. Okay, so I apologize once again. In order to fit all the questions on the thing, we have to make that really. Wait, let me see if I can. No, that did not help at all. You have to make this really small in order to fit everything on. Layout. There we go. Not much better. Hold on. I'm trying. Okay, and actually, alter we kind of incorporated into this already. Okay, I think that's as good of a size, as we're going to get it. Okay, so now let's take our minute to think, and then as usual, we will hear out partial ideas and approaches first, followed by full ideas and approaches. I'm just gonna sorry. I just want to state just extra credit. I've said this before that Rabbi Moskowitz always suggested that if you have two ways to take interpret a pasuk, one easy and one hard, take the difficult way because you'll get better ideas and it's more fun. I personally think that if you translate poses fasav as one who has enticing lips, then like that is going to lead to some radical new idea, because blabbermouth is very, very like similar to gossip monger and revealer of secrets, so like I'm not saying don't work on that version, but I'm just saying like if you can work out one for enticing lips, I'll be happy.
I might have missed it when you wrote out that translation, but what do you mean by enticing lips?
Yeah, I was about to say something. I was like, what does that actually mean?
Okay, right. So I mean, the term I can think of that that we use the phrase in is like mifate, like someone to seduce somebody, So potes fasav is one who makes his lips enticing. Like if you want a specific meaning to attach to it, one of the
Persuasive.
what do you call it? Persuasive is good, yeah, but I think it's more sinister than that. One of the Mefarshim said, maybe it was the Meiri, says Posif is like divrei chalaklakos, is like smooth talking. I can't find who says it right now, but it's like a smooth talker, someone who's like a oily, slick used car salesman type person.
So they're like charismatic.
That could be, yeah. I mean, that could be part of it. The charisma definitely helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's the defining feature because it's really about the speech.
Are we ready?
No.
Okay.
Let's take a minute of more time of actual silence. I was talking. I saw that. Okay, fine. Rivki, you want to go first, Rivki?
Maybe.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
She was clever about it, so
Yeah.
I was waiting.
She engaged the system. Yeah.
Should
Okay,
I
go
wait
ahead.
more? I can still wait.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was thinking that I'm focusing on like the mixing aspect because I feel like that's one of the biggest differences between like this week's pasuk and last week's pasuk.
Yeah.
And I think that first of all, like I'm focusing on the mixing and then what it actually means, like to have enticing lips.
Okay.
So I think that number one, the difference between mixing and then trusting is that I think trusting implies a more, I guess, like close relationship, whereas mixing is more far away. And
Right.
I think that something that we can try to understand better is like, it's so easy to mix with someone, especially when they do have enticing lips. Like it sounds like he's making it seem that this person is like clearly like good with people and like is not just like some like blabbermouth, like, you know, on the outskirts of town, like, you know, saying crazy things, you know what I mean? Like those crazy people on the train. So clearly this person is good with that kind of speech. And it's saying, even if it sounds good to you, if you start mixing with these people, I'm ad-libbing here, like I'm adding on, that obviously like you're gonna end up being in the same situation. And also you'll end up being messed over by that person eventually. So not only will your own midos be affected by that person because you're mixing with them, but also you're putting your own secrets and everything at risk and your own development.
Okay, so just to clarify before I reiterate what you're saying, how are you reading the first half? Are you reading it, one who reveals a secret goes as a gossip monger, or are you reading as a list, or are you like doing the Saadia Gaon thing? I think
that I'm doing it the way we did it last week, like more like basic, just because it was very confusing for me to think of like all the people and characters involved. Yeah. But it would be cool if someone could fix that because I'm focusing on the second half.
Okay, so then let me just reiterate what you said for the second half. So you said do not mingle is a very, very like what's the word? It's a low bar for how involved with the person you need to be in order to mingle. Like, and I saw not a lot. Some Mefarshim say lo tisar means al tischaber, like don't become friends with them. But that's not what the word implies. Like it could have just said don't become friends with them. You know, mingling, like people mingle at like the office or like at parties or whatever, you know, and this is saying like stay away even from that. And then you're saying that there's an even greater need to do that when you have enticing lips. If the person is boring, you know, or crazy, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily associate the blabbermouth with the people on the train. Like I don't, you know, but if someone is enticing, so then you're going to be drawn into mingling with them, and there needs to be a greater cause for vigilance. Now, you went one step beyond, and you said that, or you went 2 half steps beyond. Okay, you said for the second half that it's going to affect your midos. And then for the first half, you said there's going to be like all the dangers of having your secrets revealed, right? So those are 2 good half steps, but that needs to be like completed and then united. Okay, but that's good. We're doing half-baked ideas right now, so that's good. Okay, Ariel, you have a half-baked idea?
I think it's half-baked.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think we said this last week, but I think that there's I think there's like an interesting point that needs to be brought out here is that and this could be answering your question about the enticing lips, although I will admit that I'm trying to stick with Saadia Gaon for a second.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this now because it's on my mind. I think that there is someone who reveals the secret, someone who likes to uncover, hidden gems amongst someone to just spreading the rumors, and therefore he'll be a gossip monger. But there's also a type of person who may, who may take what he had learned and and modify it a little bit, to make it more extreme or more enticing for other people, okay. As to make the story more appealing or more dramatic, okay, or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't think we said that last week, but
no, I don't think we did. So let me just make sure I understand you correctly. So to reveal a secret is one thing. That just is like revealing information. Holech Rachil is you're already going with an agenda to like get people talking or to get social cred or whatever it is. Then postus is like a higher level where you're actually like making the secret appealing in a way that's like beyond the casual recounting.
Yeah, and that's where that's why I like Saadia Gaon, because I think that maybe that's what it means. He's a fool in his words. Like he's not at this point. He's not anymore just talking about the other guy, which may be truth or whatever. Now he's just saying stuff that doesn't make any sense. He's just like actually like, he's just being foolish about what he's talking about. He's
hold on. You just switched gears.
Yeah, I know. I switched. Yeah.
Okay, so are you going with enticing or are you going with foolish?
Like I prefaced before, I started with Saadia Gaon, but I wanted to just answer your idea about enticing for a second, and because I was thinking about Saadia Gaon.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I just want to make sure I'm following you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like the direction you were going in, which is that these are three.
Well, I could develop that further. I just want to do Saadia Gaon first because I was just thinking about it.
Okay, I'm just a little slow. Hold on a second. Wait. So the first idea that I heard was just highlighting an interesting observation, which is that these are three different levels in peddling information. Raw information for an agenda, and then like embellishing it to make it like polishing it to make it sellable. So that seems to be a good half approach. Okay.
Yeah. That's that's one.
Okay, and then because you didn't differentiate about when you switch gears, I was not following at all when you said Saadia Gaon. So start Saadia Gaon all over again.
Okay, yeah. So the same steps at the moment. The beginning, one who reveals a secret. Then he goes to become a gossip monger. I think without thinking about it too much, it's the same steps. But then the telephone game comes along, and then. After a certain either the telephone game comes along, or in which case, like at a certain point, there will be an individual who just doesn't know what the heck he's talking about anymore, and everything he says is just foolish.
Yeah.
Or it could be the same exact person, right? And somehow or other, he will have the enticing lips because he will be the one to also just start becoming a fool with his words because he wants to start saying these things and grabbing people's attention. And this is really a warning to the individual. You don't want to mingle with a guy like that because if he's willing to do this to other people, you should stay away from him, to protect you. Like don't.
Right. Okay. So
seconds.
So just a brief comment, two brief comments on that, and then we'll take what other people are saying. But the one thing about the Mishlei Pesi here is he's really not doing anything intentionally. Like it's not like he's not malicious in his spreading of this stuff. So where I thought you were going, and then I realized you're not going here. Where I thought you were going is because one who reveals a secret somehow becomes a gossip monger, which we need to fill in. I thought you were saying that it starts off with a person who's foolish with his lips. Meaning if you have a person who is just like unguarded with his speech or doesn't process things clearly and just like is impacted by the superficial superficial impressions, so then that's the guy who's going to be likely to reveal a secret. So if you're mixing with him, even just like hanging around when he's within earshot, then that could lead to this whole chain reaction of stuff.
That could actually be a good road to take also.
Okay. Isaiah.
Yeah, so I seem to recall that last week, I don't remember the full things that we said last week, but I remember that the pasuk we mentioned that we talked about like a person who, they talk about other people, but you think that they're not going to talk about you,
right? Because
you view them as like a friend of you. So I think this is kind of like a opposite / related mistake. Okay. That this person, they just like, they're not known as a person who talks about other people, but they just tripped up this one time. They're a goal sewed. And so you think that this person is not really such like a bad guy. Like, he just made a mistake and you're not going to like be harmed by this kind of person. He doesn't have a reputation as like a gossip monger. Yeah. No, this pasuk is telling you he really is a gossip monger because he's not careful with his words. He's a foolish speaker. So so he has the same like dangerous effect, and you shouldn't like associate with him because he reveals secrets.
Okay, that's a really good approach, right? So let me just reiterate that just to make sure I'm getting all the nuances here. So last week our idea was that the reason why the pasuk needs to tell you that one who goes as a gossip monger reveals a secret is because you tell yourself, okay, this guy is a gossip monger, but he's not going to reveal my secret because we're friends and I trust him. He's just talking about other people, and it's saying no, he's not going to be able to help himself. This pasuk is saying if you see a guy who reveals a secret, even by accident, even if it's like a one-time thing, then you should be wary. You shouldn't say, oh, he's not going to gossip, because the whole thing is that the fact that he let a secret slip means that he is not careful with people's information. So for all intents and purposes, you should treat him as a gossip monger,
I was thinking of a similar approach.
Sure.
But then, like, what about Don Lechav's schus?
Well, Don Lechav's schus is all good and fine when it comes to how you view the person, like in terms of their like perfection and stuff, but you still have to be practical.
Right. There's a difference between assuming their intention and assuming the reality of what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Like, there's that, they call it a Russian proverb, trust but verify, like that's the kind of thing, like with Don Lechav's schus, like you give the person the benefit of the doubt, like, but like, let's say someone, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, first of all, just to clarify, because I recently discussed this in a shiur. So there's the halachas of being Don Lechav's schus, of giving someone the benefit of the doubt, are threefold. Okay, is that if the person has a reputation of being a tzaddik, like a public reputation of being a tzaddik, and you see them do something that is ambiguous, you are obligated to judge it favorably. Okay, and in that case, it would be rational to assume that this person is like, has good intentions and didn't do this evil or bad decision. Okay, if it's someone who has a reputation of a Russia, you are obligated, and you see him do something that looks good, you're obligated to view to judge it as bad. Okay, sorry, I said the tzaddik one wrong. If you see him do something that is ambiguous but looks like it's bad, then you judge him. You're obligated to judge him good. With the Russia, it's the opposite. But then with the average person, it is meritorious to give him the benefit of the doubt if you see him do something ambiguous, but you are not obligated to. So that's where Mishlei will kick in and be like, okay, all things being equal, like if I could judge this guy favorably and not get into any practical circumstances, fine. But like if this person like reveals a secret and like you could judge him favorably and say, oh, maybe he had a good reason for doing it, I would say don't trust that person. Don't with your own secrets.
Okay, fine. I was saying something. I think I'm saying something similar to Zaya, which is that Golasod Holech Rachel is defining what a Golasod is, meaning Golasod is the action, right? He reveals a secret to you, and you might think, oh, either he made a mistake or whatever, like he just did an action, but really this is a trait. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I was when as soon as Isaiah started talking, I was thinking about your question that you asked, and it works out well because Gole can just be like a verb, but holech rachel does sound like a derech, like a pattern. Yeah.
And so then Right. And so then like the second half of the pasuk could be saying is that like, oh, it like you should not think that like and I think that with one who has enticing lips, do not trust. I think that's fits better. I think that one's saying is that this guy, well, actually I'm not sure how enticing lips fits into it. But I think that maybe it's defining that like posesivasav is, I don't know how it's saying something different than Olech Rachel, but I think it's talking about the same thing, and it's saying, therefore, you should not trust this guy.
Okay,
right?
So I think I have an approach, but let me just ask, Avital, is what you're going to say along these lines or different lines?
At first, I thought it was along the same lines because part of it's the same, but I think the ending is actually the opposite.
Okay, so can I just,
Yeah,
what you're
sure.
gonna say? Okay, so I just want to complete that idea. I think the easiest explanation, so first of all, I think this is how I want to translate it, okay? And I think the thing here is that Goles Sod is the same thing as a poses fasav, okay? And it fits in really well with what Isaiah was saying, is that if a person, so Goles Sod is the factual just description of what he's doing. He revealed a secret, okay? Poses fasav is the cause of that, right? That he's foolish with his lips. Like he's just like, he doesn't really think into his speech. It's just that someone presents an opportunity for him to say something and he'll say it. So what it's saying is like this, is it's saying that if someone reveals a secret, then you should, for all intents and purposes, treat them as a gossip monger, because they are likely to go and be indiscriminate with revealing people's information. Therefore, not only should you not reveal secrets to the person, you shouldn't even mingle with them, because what's going to happen is if you mingle with them, it's only a matter of time before you say something that is sensitive information that can get out there. So it's saying that you should really distance yourself from these people. Now, here's the thing: is I would be a little bit more. I would raise the bar a little bit from what we said earlier. This does not mean that you should avoid them at all costs. Like let's say you work with this person. It's not saying don't work with a person. It's saying that don't like hang out in social environments with them, even if you're not good friends. Because it's only a matter of time, especially when you're dealing with social data and interactions. It's very easy for someone to take something out of context. And then, I can't just from being a high school teacher for 10 years, you won't believe how many like squabbles are started either between students and their peers, or between like a student thinks that they heard something that a teacher said, and like it just blows up because people are just like, fools with the lips who reveal secrets, and it's just, it can just blow up very easily. So just don't mingle with these people. So I think that like is a full idea.
So like you're saying that the first part of the pasuk is defining Golasod, and then the second half is saying the practical advice of that.
Yes,
definition.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine, in terms
Yeah.
of
So, yeah.
structure.
First one's like a phenomenon that it's saying, hey, by the way, if someone revealed a secret, don't like just treat that as a fluke. Treat them as a whole, as someone who gossips, and therefore, if they exhibit this characteristic of being foolish with their lips, then don't mix with them at all.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Okay. Yeah. Avital.
Yeah, so I think my idea is a little bit different,
Sure.
but I was thinking of it as two different people, that you have somebody who, for whatever reason, like not going into any assumptions about it, they like leak kind of secrets that are clearly not for the public. There's a boundary on them, or they're supposed to be. And he leaks them out, and he's a gossip monger, like period. Like people know he, like whatever it is, like people might see him as like, he's just a gossip monger already. That's what people see him for. Versus I was seeing it as the second guy, who he's this one with enticing lips that spreads the actual information. And that I feel like the spreader sometimes gets less almost press. That like, let's say there's a big something in Hollywood that goes down, and like,
Right.
Then you have all those newspapers or magazines or whatever they sell them in,
Right.
that like nobody thinks about them like,
oh, like this is horrible. Like these are the real problems. And it's like people get so caught up on, oh, this is the secret. This is the secret.
Right.
It's like, okay, clearly there was somebody who told the secret, but these people spreading it, I feel like are way more underrated and are much more like dangerous that you have to look out for. Because there's no responsibility in it, or like people behind social media, right? Nobody knows the things that they're putting out, but nobody would say that in person.
Right.
But like those
that's a really good explanation for the second half.
That you like really need to look out for because they're underrated. You know,
that's really good. So just like meaning the people use the expression like you know this person let the cat out of the bag. You know, these people are cloning the cats and like putting them in people's houses, you know, like it's and with the social media example is a good one, because if it weren't for all these like tabloid like outlets, then the secret wouldn't have legs. Like one person would hear it and then it would end, but it really is the people who are like polishing it up and then selling it. So I hear your second half. Tell me again.
Like the first one, I feel like when somebody tells a secret that they're not supposed to, it's like people are like, hey, like, dude, like that wasn't nice. Like that wasn't, you know, like, okay, you're a gossip. If you do that, like, let's say you do it once by accident, people are like, okay. But like, once you start to do that, like people catch your drift and are like, hey, I'm not telling you stuff.
Right.
So like he has like more immediate consequences that are more out there. So I think for him, it's more like, this guy who reveals secrets, he's a gossip monger, like period. This we know. But then I feel like the second half is more of like, at least what I thought was like the chiddush, where it's like, no, it's really the people that are spreading the tabloid tales or whatever you said. Like those are the people you have to look out for. And I was also thinking with a bystander, like we say like bystanders are worse. So like even more than a bystander, you're like an assist or like these people.
Right. So I really like the second half. I feel like I'm getting not enough out of the first half, especially given, and again, this might not be a fair question, especially given the fact that we already talked about the phenomenon earlier. You know, I don't know. I feel like the chiddush, it would be nice if the chiddush somehow took into account the first half, but I'm not really sure. So
I mean, I wasn't there for the last one, so like
no, that's fine.
To say, but just like in my head, it's like these are the people you might think you have to look out for, but it's these.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so let's let that percolate. I think that's like that idea is like 80% on its way to completion. Yeah, Rivki.
Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but now on what you just said, are you? And I guess like even for what I said, and I'm sure like what other people are saying, I think I'm just missing the connection between Avital, the way you were reading it. Then if you're splitting up like the pasuk into those two halves, then how is the one with enticing lips? Like how are we just like supposed to know that he is going to spread it? Because I feel like having enticing lips, if you're splitting it from the first half, like how are you getting that information?
Yeah. So that might be a lifeline, right? Meaning, tell me if this is what you're asking, Rivki, which is that Avital was assuming, was taking into account the first half enough to identify this guy as one who is spreading gossip, not just someone who has enticing lips.
Exactly. Like it wasn't just like, I want to get things out of you.
Right. Yeah. So Avital is using the first half to get the context for the second half, right? But it's just unclear how, which I think is your question. Yeah. Okay. So it's, I mean, I think that is pointing in a good direction, but yeah.
Yeah, and then
as a footnote, I have an answer to that I'll try to wrap into something later.
Okay, sure. Okay, so why don't you answer and then I'll go to Moshe after that? Yeah.
Well, no, because it's part of the larger idea.
Part of the larger idea. Okay, so let's go to Moshe.
Wait,
now,
can I just ask my other question quickly?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I didn't realize you had another one. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Also, I'm not sure if you would. I can also ask it later because it's not directly related. But I was just wondering, like, in general, it's not specific to this pasuk, but in Mishlei, we always say like, don't do this or don't do that. But then, and I think we've spoken about this, but if you're in a situation where, let's say this is your boss or whatever, where like you have to make a good impression, and like oftentimes that is done through, mirroring or wherever it is, like, how are you supposed to deal with that situation? Like by not playing into it, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, so I'll give a quick answer to that now, but, so that you have to differentiate between halacha and not halacha. Okay. So in halacha, I mean, so this happens to be one where it's talking about an isser, right? It's a losase from the Torah to gossip, right? it's not lo sase to be enticing with your lips. So like if you're in a situation where there's social pressure to be a gossiper, you can't. Like that's what it means to be a Jew, like, and you have to like take the consequences. If you're in the realm beyond halacha, so then you're in the realm of cost benefit analysis, and then that's when you have to like, really assess this and on all of its levels and make the decision. And here it's really, really, really like I would be very careful, because the nature of gossip and revealing secrets is such that you really can't predict like the far-reaching consequences of this thing. So I would say like even here, I mean, look, maybe you could be lenient with the mingling as long as you just don't talk. Like the point is that once you're in the realm of non-halacha, you're in the real world of like real world consequences, and Mishlei is warning you about these things, and you should take those warnings like seriously, because it's, I mean, not that you shouldn't take the Torah seriously, but like treat it with Torah. You don't have to think about the real factors. If it's usser, it's usser. If you think about it, that's great, but you're not making your decision based on an analysis. You're making it based on the law. Here, it's very easy to like get caught up in the analysis and say, okay, I can risk it here, but can you really? Like, is that really a wise move? Okay, Moshe, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, so one point regarding, I guess, the art scroll view of the pasuk, like breaking it up into a list of 3 separate things. Yeah. I think, first of all, I wouldn't use the translation for ulufoses fasav as a simpleton of lips, or rather as the blabbermouth, one who's the blabbermouth.
Yeah.
And then kind of understand the construction of the pasuk as relating like in ascending order, not necessarily qualitatively, but more quantitatively, of different levels of speech that shouldn't be said.
Right. Meaning that real secrets could just be a one-time deal, right?
Yeah.
And then
Rachel is more general. Like I know the Rambam says like someone who's his lashon is zeshatoin dvarim. So like he sees something that's like he thinks important to spread, and then he spreads it. Right. And then I guess the Lefoses Fasav, like the blabbermouth, it's someone like they feel the need to speak, so they're gonna almost create things to talk about and spread.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's a good differentiation between it. So Rachel is a it does mean a monger or a merchant, and that's why the Rambam phrases it that way. He takes his wares and then peddles them from person to person. In this case, the wares is information. Pasuk doesn't even care about making a profit. He's just like just wants to talk. Yeah. Right. So then, according to that, I like that approach, because the reading is the most straightforward. So could we get what the chiddush would be? Like, why would you need to tell someone? In other words, if you're already saying don't mingle with a revealer of secrets, like I feel like okay, yeah. Well, why do we need all 3? I'll just ask the question that way. And this question is not just on you, but anyone who can answer why we need all 3.
I mean, isn't the answer to that question is, you may feel that he won't reveal my secrets to other people.
He won't reveal my secrets to other people.
Meaning, like, let's say you told me a secret, right?
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Hold on. Yeah.
I'll feel, wow, I'm so special. You're gonna reveal the secrets to me. Like we have some sort of bond and relationship that I would feel that you would never betray me. Mm-hmm. In reality, you're just that type of guy. You're a sleazeball,
Right. To use the technical term, yeah. So, so I think so. Could we just broaden what the approach Ariel is taking, and that maybe these are 3 reasons, these are refutations of 3 justifications for why you might not be careful about not mingling. Sorry, too many negatives. You need to be told not to mingle with these guys for 3 separate reasons. Okay, so in other words, just a second, it was clear in my head for a flash. Well, let me start from the back. Okay, so I think it's very easy to underestimate a blabbermouth. Okay, because most people need reasons to say things, and in fact, like I think that there is, I'm sure we all know people who you'd be like, okay, fine, they know something, but like I don't have to warn them not to say it, because why would they bring that up? But like there are people who just will bring up anything that they associate to, and like say. So like that's like one category where the secret might come out. Holich Rachel, like Moshe was saying, is like every person has their price, in terms of if they're exchanging this thing, and you might justify it by saying like, oh, the secret is, the person is not going to reveal my secret, but like if they can get a lot of, I don't know, if they can get ahead, if they could get social credit, if they could get a job, if like they could get on their boss's good side, if they get into the popular crowd, like then they'll sell it. And then the Gola Sod is an interesting thing, because I think if you take the interpretation that we said before, the one-time thing, it's very easy to just take it as a one-shot deal that like, okay, he revealed this secret, but that was just a fluke. But the fluke demonstrates a lack of it could be lack of several things. It could be like a lack of understanding of how sensitive information is. It could be a like lack of empathy or concern for putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It could be a lot of these things. So like, I still agree with Moshe saying that this is increasing levels quantitatively, but I think in terms of Ariel's approach, like you need to be told in each of these cases, the main point is that these people will reveal your sensitive information, but in different ways, and you need all three of them to rule out all the three different avenues.
Right, like I'll give you an example, like
I hope this doesn't reveal any secrets.
No, it's not.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah.
No, like there are a couple people in my office, who I will not mention any names, and I don't think they're gonna be listening.
That the last person on the Zoom call that says none of your business, you're Yenta, that's one of the people in your office, right?
I was gonna make a comment about that, say that name kind of bugs me a little bit. We should probably kick him out. That's your call.
No, go ahead. Say your example. I interrupted you.
Like it happens to be like they talk a lot about other people in the office.
Yeah.
And like for me, that kind of bothers me a little bit,
right?
Because like I do mingle with them,
right.
Because like I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because like I need to use them as for leverage, whatever. But like the point is, like I have to be like extra cautious and around them. And if I was like oblivious, if I was like a dope, like I probably would tell them other stuff too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So that's like an example Rick was talking about. Like you're working with these people, and like maybe there are things you can do. Again, we're not going into the details here, but like if I were hanging around people like that and I had no way out, like I would consider doing stuff like wearing earbuds or something so I don't hear the stuff about the other people in the office, at least minimizing that danger, and also conveying the fact that I don't want to hear this stuff.
But it's also, it's not just that, it's also like they can get you to talk about you, and they can relate your information to other people. That's what I'm really concerned about.
Right. And that was the danger we pointed out last week. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Let's go Zach with your other approach, and then back to Moshe after. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that I'll first like differentiate this pasuk from last pasuk, and then go into the idea. Okay. I think from the last pasuk, I think it was focused on like how do you become a trustworthy spirit, so to speak.
Right.
Whereas in this pasuk, I think the focus is on like developing your circle or your group of friends.
Okay.
And so as far as the translation of those boxes is, I'm gonna take all of them except for the blabbermouth box. Yeah. So I'm going to take secret and counsel,
okay,
like as a dual translation, and mingle and trust also as a dual translation.
Sure.
So I think that he's basically alerting us of a potential like trap that we might put ourselves into, and to alert us of that, he starts off with an obvious scenario, like, would you let a snake into your bed? No, that sounds bad. Okay, well, would you then be friends with someone with enticing lips? Oh, well, why is that your follow-up question?
Right.
And so basically he says that when you meet someone with enticing lips, there's someone who might be easily impressed by you, someone who's maybe saying nice things towards you, to like, to win you over, and you might feel good. You might even sort of recognize their qualities, but because it feels good engaging with them and the fact that they're, trying to win you over, you decide to hang out with them and to, let's say, have them around more.
Mhm.
And he's pointing out that, like, when you include this person, what ultimately happens when you have people in your circle is then your brain defaults to the trust setting. It's like, this is the person I'm familiar with. Like,
Right.
it defaults. It's no longer even a decision because they're in your group.
Right.
And so, and part of how I think I get that is just because he's using the word counsel earlier. So when he says do not mix, to me it seems more like mixing as in your group.
Yeah.
And the reason why he's like the way he's attaching it is that in the same way that they were trying to win you over and have enticing lips, that same drive to win you over is the same drive they're going to have with any other person they meet. And the way they're going to win them over is by revealing things,
Mhm.
right? That same drive to win you over and is going to be the same drive to win other people over. And
Right.
you can win people over by revealing counsel. So starting off by saying like, by starting off and saying like, someone who reveals secrets is going to be the same person who's going around telling everyone the secrets, and you think, okay, I don't want that person in my group. But then to you, all of a sudden, they're trying to win you over. If you can recognize that their words are only as valuable as how much positive feedback they can get from their words, then you can recognize that this person is dangerous to have in your group, because you're going to end up trusting them, giving them secrets, and then they're going to go and reveal them for the same reasons why they wanted to win you over with their nice words to begin with.
Okay, good. And this is a good demonstration of a good showcasing of what we've been talking about, the Mishlei deliberate ambiguity of that, showing that mingling is trusting, and that secrets are, information in your counsel, and the only reason why it wouldn't work here, and not the only reason, is that it does turn out that blabbermouth and enticing lips are really the opposites in many ways. Like, blabbermouth is someone who is just indiscriminate with the speaking, but enticing lips means like they're specifically like making their words appealing, which is like, what a blabbermouth can't do. That's because they're a blabbermouth. Okay, good. It's a good idea. Moshe.
Yeah. So just one point. I think this is a solid question on both mine and Ariel's approaches. We're splitting the pasuk into like a list of 3 things. So I checked the trup and the esnachta.
Yeah.
Basically, like the comma is after rachio. So it really does split the pasuk in half there. So it's a little.
I don't think that's actually a problem. I mean, I think it's a good move that you check where the esnachta is, but I think, again, and I might be mistaken because I'm not an expert in this, I think that in Mishlei, all the asnachtas are in the middle. I don't think you would ever have an asnachta that is going to split a list of 3 in is going to give the weight of the pasuk to be that uneven, like 6 words and 2 words. Yeah.
It's also, even if it was, it would not break it up like that, because it would not have golasod holech rachel sifasav asnachta los arif. Even when it's listing things, it doesn't break it up like it has the list and then what you do with it. It'll have a portion of the list, then another portion, then what you do with it.
Yeah.
So it's not evidence either way, I think.
Yeah. Good move though. Yeah, like a methodology wise. By the way, I just noticed something which I'm gonna blame myself for this. I think I just like hoodwinked all of you into accepting into like not actually reading the pasuk carefully, because no one asked this question. Okay, anyone notice how the Hebrew is different in the first half of both pasukim? This one says megalasod and this one says golasod. So those are different words. Now I don't know enough about grammar to be confident in what I'm about to say, but it would work out really well if the last pasuk was one who goes as a gossip monger is one who reveals a secret.
Isn't megala like passive?
No.
No, it's like
it's present tense PL. I believe.
Right. So
Someone who does something.
Right. So whereas Gola, I think, can you read Gola the way that we've been reading it, which is like a one-time thing, like not one who does reveal a secret, but one, like,
Could be like he reveals a secret.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah,
it could
something
be a
like that.
specific
Like,
action.
yeah.
Who
Yeah.
Gola sewed. Like,
Yeah.
how it would work. Kind of.
Wait, would
Yeah.
possibly be, just for the sake of, I need to remember this, is nigala passive with a nun?
I mean, oftentimes the nun does make it passive, but I'm trying to think how you would conjugate this one. I mean, Nigla means revealed, right?
But also, like, I'm thinking of like
Megula,
there's the
one who
guy
is revealed.
yeah, the guy who got the images,
Yeah.
the Mazik versus the Nizik, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And he got revealed too.
By the
Okay,
way,
so-
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it, but can we like if we can do this grammatically, then I have a way to do it with idea. But can we make the going as a unique part of the statement?
How
Meaning,
so?
meaning like one who reveals a secret goes as a gossip monger, meaning like he might not be a gossip monger to your group, but you can know based off of other cues that this person is going out to other people and revealing your secrets, meaning like you won't know he's a gossip monger because he's going and doing it somewhere else.
Right. So I the way there was a similar question last week, and the way I answered it is that I think that holich rachel, like that's just the verb that's used. Not like I wouldn't read that.
You might have said that also.
Yeah. And you know, I think last week I was trying to think of an example, but like if you use this is a bad example. Let's say in English you talk about a personality who's like a go-getter. The essence is not really that they're a go-getter. It's just like they're a getter, you know, but you say go-getter because where else are you gonna like get stuff other than by going, you know, like similar thing. Okay, so let's do this. So we have, I kind of forgot to write down the approaches that we were taking. I feel like we had, let's just round them up now because I don't want to forget in the in when we do the Mefarshim. So we had Isaiah's approach was one approach. We had Avital's, which was still a half approach. We had Zach's, and we had Moshe's, and then Zach's, and then Ariel was yours.
Yeah, I had an approach.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get these. I felt like, yeah, for some reason Ariel's is not registering where it what was related to.
The enticing lips.
Enticing lips. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make that work with Moshe's, but actually I'm not sure. Let's see. So Isaiah, can you just jog my memory what yours was again, if you remember?
Yeah, that like one who reveals a secret just like one time, or like not normally reveals a secret, but he happens to this time. He's really a holy rachel, and he's not careful with his words, so you should not mix with him.
All right, good. So if person reveals a secret even once, that puts him into gossip monger territory. That earns him membership. In the gossip monger club. Okay. Therefore, you shouldn't.
Counsel.
Yeah, counsel. If he, therefore, one who is a blabbermouth like that, you shouldn't even mingle with, because it's only a matter of time before you reveal sensitive information around him. Or I'm going to just add this as a side point, or someone reveals sensitive information about you around him, not having learned this pasuk, right? That's another thing that can happen, is that you are with a blabbermouth, you're being very careful, but then someone else who's not sensitive to the fact that this guy's a blabbermouth and doesn't know that if he reveals a secret once, he's a gossiper, so then they'll say something that is, not good. Okay, Moshe's was oh, I know what it was. Yeah, okay. Ariel's, yours was in here also. Okay, so Moshe and Ariel were saying how, so basically these are three types of secret revealers that you might otherwise justify mingling with by saying they're not the other kind. Okay, what I mean by that is like you'll hang around the okay, well, we said this last time. You hang around the gossiper because you're like, okay, this person loves to gossip, but they're not going to reveal my secrets, you know. Or you hang around the blabbermouth and like, okay, you know, this guy just like can't control his speaking, but like surely he's not gonna like, he'd have no reason to bring up the secret, you know. Or you're around the guy who has revealed secrets before, but you're like, he's only revealing it in a calculated way. He's not just gonna blab it, you know. So it's saying all three of these categories are people who you need to like who you need to be careful about because of the you know, and realize that they're all three prone to revealing secrets for their different reasons. And if you want to go with Moshe's idea, that these are identifying three different possible motives. Okay, so alternatively,
also I feel like one could even say that they're equal to, meaning like they all become one and the same, meaning like if someone intentionally reveals secrets, they are devaluing how important a secret is, and then they're more likely to also accidentally let it slip because it's not categorized as like crucial, sensitive information.
Sorry, I missed the first half of what you're saying. Just say it again.
I was just saying that like these three people could all end up becoming the same individual, because even if they start off as like all intentionally reveal secrets,
right,
then they end up like diminishing how important it is to keep it a secret and accidentally reveal it.
Correct. Good. Okay, now Avital, you had the second half, which was just okay, so the second half, so first half, okay, I'll just say first half sets the context and acknowledges the obvious truth, right, which we have to work that in, right, that you know, about the danger of gossipers. Okay, then the second half though is saying but the real cause of the harm is the one with enticing lips who takes the secret and markets it and spreads it. Right, that was the essence of your idea, I think. Okay, and then Zach, if you can get it into like one sentence, like your approach, or read it and like incorporate it into the reading seamlessly.
Yeah, can we scroll up a sec to read? I'll
type it here and I'll copy paste.
Maybe it might take a try or two, but just like you wouldn't want a person who reveals secrets and gossips to be in your group.
Yeah.
A person who wins you over with words will win others over by revealing your secrets and your if you invite them into your group by hanging out with them often.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That was a good first attempt. Not ready for publication yet, but it gets it down. We're just doing note form. Okay. So now what I'd like to do for the last part is I want to go back and read the Rabbeinu Yonah on the previous pasuk, which we did last week, and then read the Rabbeinu Yonah on this pasuk because he referenced himself, but we didn't have time last week to read what he says, and that way we can get a full picture. Okay, so this is last week's Rabbeinu Yonah. He says, oh, I put both of them here. How nice of me. Okay, last week, he said as follows. Okay, so Holech Rachel Megale Sod. One who goes as a gossiper reveals a secret. Im tira adam shu Rachel. If you see a person who is a gossip monger, and he starts trouble with words of degradation and provocation. Sheyishma adam, that he hears about people. Teda, you should know kihu megale sod. You should know that he will reveal a secret. Don't reveal to him your secret. Don't trust him. because once you transmit it to him, he'll reveal it. Okay, now it's coming back to me. One who can't guard his soul or his spirit from gossip will not be able to keep a secret. So there we said, according to Rabbeinu Yonah, that it's about self-control. The gossip monger is someone who cannot exercise self-control over what he says about people, even if it's sensitive information. So even if he really wants to keep your secret, like let's say this is a really good friend who also happens to be a gossip, and you tell yourself, oh, my friend would never betray me. They can't help it. It's not in their power. That's the holech rachel. The holech rachel lacks self-control over speech. The ne'eman ruach machase davar, one who's trustworthy of spirit will conceal a matter. Nasan tam ladavar, this gives a reason for the matter. Ki ein hester hasod bilti lene'emane ruach. The only people who you can trust to conceal your secrets are those who are trustworthy of spirit. Mishu ne'eman ruach, someone who's trustworthy of spirit. Halohu machase davar she'eno roy legaloso. Someone who's trustworthy of spirit, won't he conceal something that's not proper to reveal? Af al pish lo kisahu ha'omer. Even though the speaker did not conceal it. In other words, if I say something that is sensitive and I don't even say like, oh, please keep this a secret. If my friend is a ne'eman ruach, if he's trustworthy, he will conceal that, even though I didn't like swear him to secrecy. V'lo yigalei rachin, he will not reveal it as a gosper. V'amar b'makom acher, golesod holech rachel, v'hu al derech hazeh kasher yisbayer. So that's, now he refers to our pasuk. So let's go to our pasuk. Any questions on that last week idea that we just reviewed? Okay, so then now Rabbeinu Yonah on our pasuk. Golesod holech rachel. Hine amar b'makom acher. It said elsewhere holech rachel megalesod. Ratzalam or kimi sheholech rachel al tavtiach lo sodachat. So someone who goes gossiping, do not entrust your secret to him. Ki acher asher lo yishmor lashona min rachilos lo yishmer mechasof sodecha. Okay, that's just repeating the idea. Yata yomar. Now it's saying kimi shu golesod. Now it's saying someone who reveals a secret. Al tadaber lafana ba'ashmas ha'am umume b'nei adam. Don't speak in front of him. Oh, interesting. Don't speak in front of him. Speak in front of him about the faults of other people and other people's blemishes. The al tomar ki afal pi shehu golesod mipnei sheyadamed benafsho she'ein nezak leish begilui aval min harachilus yizaher ki hizhira haTorah alav. So don't say to yourself, even though he reveals a secret, because he imagines in his soul that there's no harm in the matter to the person if it's revealed, but he will guard against rechilus, against gossip, ki hizhira Torah alav, because the Torah prohibits it. Shneimar, as it says, lo selech rachel b'macha, it says, don't go as a gossiper among your people. Lo chen adavar, that's not true. Ki achar yasher lo yimshal b'nafsho mechasof hasod. Once he does not exercise restraint in terms of keeping the secret, lo yimshal barucha milachas rachel. He won't have restraint about going as a gossiper. So this is a weird havmina. Okay, here's what he's saying. He's saying this guy revealed a secret. Okay, fine, he revealed a secret because he thought that there's no harm that's going to come of it. And revealing a secret is not usher. But this person's frum, right? They keep halacha. So he would never violate Torah. So it's saying no. The fact is that this guy lacks self-control. And if he can't control himself enough to refrain from revealing a secret, then he can't exercise self-control to keep Torah either. That's interesting. So
is he just saying, who's the audience for that though? Like, is it the guy himself, or is it like, yeah, the audience? So this is what the person. If the audience is the person who can't control themselves, and they like, you're telling me like, oh, I shouldn't try like dabble in like telling small secrets. I think that are like I'm allowed to tell. Like, what's the right? So advice to? At first, I was a little shocked when he said the audience, because he's saying, he tells us don't speak in front of him of the faults of the people and their blemishes. So I was like, I mean, so are we talking to someone who violates Torah, but then I assume here he means that you're doing it for some legitimate reason, so I think what he's, okay, hold on a second. So given that I think he must be talking about someone. Oh yeah, wait, who's the audience? Hold on, I thought I had it. The Havamina is this guy might tell a secret, but he won't violate Torah by gossiping, right? So given that, who is Mishlei talking to then?
Let's read the second half just in case it matters. Okay, hold on. Ulefosav lotis arav. Lotish tatef, don't join with him. Oh, see, Ariel Shutfus. Right? Don't even be a partner with him. Lotis arev lemi shuhu posev b'safasayim shuhu eno medaktik b'dvarav. Okay, so now he's defined posev b'safasayim is one who is not careful with his words, like not precise with his words. Sorry, I was almost not careful with my words. More precise. V'lo yaktim lehem machshava, and he doesn't precede them with thought. Litzrov kaborsi game to refine their impurities like a crucible. This guy, since his spirit like sends off whatever, since his tongue sends off whatever occurs to him, his emotions, he's going to reveal secrets, he's going to go as a gossip monger, and many damages will come from his friendship. So he's saying like this, he's saying that a person who is not precise and doesn't think before speaking, that guy could easily be a Golas Sod and a Holech Rachel. So like seems to be even worse. Like the Golas Sod and Holech Rachel does seem to be like a certain level of lack of self-control, but the Posas Spasav like is worse. In other words, let's say like a Golas Sod might be someone who like thinks about it and says, should I reveal it or not? And then he just can't control himself. But the Posas doesn't even think about it. He's just like blabbering.
So
I have a question. Like why is it necessary to mention the Torah?
Because that's the Havamina. He's saying that I wouldn't have said this, but he's saying that that you might think that since this is a Isser in of the Torah, then that's where the guy's going to draw the line. And by the way, this is a mistake people make. Okay, is they'll say about a person, they'll see them doing something unethical, okay, but not against halacha, and then they'll say, well, I could at least trust them to keep halacha. But the answer is no. Like if they can't control themselves from giving into their desires in something that is harmful and unethical, why are you going to think that they're going to care about Torah?
Yeah, I feel like he's like weighing in on the calculations behind Toelis. I mean, like there's like a fairly comprehensive structure, like guidelines about like when you can and cannot speak about people, and
right.
There are often cases when you're supposed to speak about people. And I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think part of the calculation is whether this will, well, actually, yeah, I'd have to, like, the Chofetz Chaim gives a list of like 7 things or whatever, but like, I know like for sure you can't be getting pleasure out of it. And like, there's other like little things. So if part of your calculation is like, is he going to reveal this information to others? You think, well, no, because he's like, he's not going to violate the Torah. Then he's saying like, that's not a justifiable reason to share information in this context, because you have to assume that he will share it, or worse.
Right, because he can't control himself.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. Yosef?
I think maybe it's like just maybe a little bit deeper. What you're saying is like, because I'm thinking like, why would he only why would you think he would only keep the Torah? So maybe it's like you're saying that you cannot rely on like super egos,
Right.
Maybe you say like, oh, he does have like he doesn't really have an understanding of Torah, but he has like, he cares about this like authority, right?
Yeah.
And like, but he doesn't really have like a moral compass, so maybe you could rely on the authority alone. The finish is no, that authority alone, right? That like, that emotional attachment to it is not reliable.
Okay, I can go even one step further on that. I like that first half, but I could say that what happens is the emotional authority of the Torah is replaced by the emotional authority of the social group, and that's going to override it.
Well, is there always a social group? Like, why would you?
Like, for Rachel, it is, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, for Rachel, it is. I wouldn't say the same thing for the Posas Spasav. This guy is just saying because he loves to hear himself talk, But Holich Rachel, does seem to be like the social group.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm satisfied with that Rabbeinu Yonah. I mean, so just methodologically, one thing I think is beautiful that he's doing is, when we had our two psukim, we were saying how it seems like it's saying that the two people are the same person, okay, which he's dealing with, but then he does make a different havamina for each one, but it's based on the same quality. Like the maskana is based on the same quality that he can't control himself, just you have a different havamina in each case. Like first case is okay, he might gossip about others, but he wouldn't reveal my secret. Answer is it's not a matter of intention, it's a matter of self-control. And if you don't have self-control, then he will reveal your secret. And the second one is, okay, he might have revealed this secret, but there's no way he's going to violate Torah. Answer is he lacks self-control enough to reveal the secret, so he's going to lack self-control when it comes to keeping Torah, So I think it's just a good way to approach it there. Yosef, is that a leftover hand or is that a new hand? I just didn't see if your hand went down.
Leftover.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, good. You want to just look at Metzudas David like we always do? We have a little bit of time. Metzudas David says, Golas Sod, Lotis Arav Lehischaber Imisha Tivo Lagalas Asod, Velo Yuchal Lamod Al Atmo Lahastir Davar Ma. He says you should not mingle to befriend someone whose nature is to reveal a secret. So he's saying it's not just a one-time thing. And he cannot hold himself back from enough to conceal the matter, to conceal anything. Oh, this might be like the Moshe and Ariel approach, and not with someone who you should also not mingle with someone who goes with a Rachel with specific intent. Or someone whose lips are characterized by foolishness, that he'll let the matter slip innocently. So that's kind of like what I was writing over here of the three motives. Whoops, I have my price and blah blah blah. Right? The whoops is what he's saying that he can't hold himself back. The I have my price is he's doing it with intent for a specific deal, and then blah 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 is that he just speaks foolishly. Yeah, I think Metzudas David worded it better than I did, but whatever. Yeah.
Is there a Saadia Gaon on this?
I did look at Saadia Gaon this morning, and I didn't deem him worthy of typing up, but I can't remember why.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
No. We got to give Saadia Gaon his due. I think it might have been because he referenced the Tanakh thing that I wasn't fluent in it, and I was too lazy to look it up. Saadia Gaon says, Asa mefarsame hadavarim shnei sukim. So it makes, this is like Avital was saying, maybe. It makes the publicizers of statements into two categories. Im mezid harihu sachal. If it's intentional, then he's a fool. V'hu gala gila sod, and he revealed a secret. V'asal kama harachil ubal lashon hara, kamosh asa doeg v'hazifim v'domehem. And he was. I think Shlomo made him out to be, meaning is depicting this guy like a Rachel and a Baal Lashon Hara. He acted like Doeg and the other guys. O mitoch pesayus, or it's because he is a foolishness. V'yechakrehu hashoel b'dvarav b'chol mashahaya, and the questioner investigated him or interrogated him in his words with whatever it is. I don't know what that means. Harihu posas fasav, and he'll open his lips. Kamo ish mitzri na'ar. Ish Mitzri Na'ar Ish Amaleki Shahid Alavakaso Shamar Kashamata Oso David Anachnu Pashtanu. Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know what story that was referring to. Lafika Kisir bin Lisar B'Koela Hanechkar Koshkin Hamezid. So it sounds like he's saying someone who's going to like blab when you interrogate him. That's interesting. That was
I'm sorry, what was a blab when you interrogate him?
Yeah, meaning like I don't know the story. Anyone know the story here of the Ish Na'ar Ish Amaleki Shahid Alav? Sorry, Ish Amaleki. This is, where is this? 35. This is in Shmuel Aleph Lamed Yodal. I'm just gonna see if I can find it really quickly and then read it.
Oh, I think I know this.
Yeah?
I think it's like a Danish Shmuel. This is the one who report. Isn't this the guy who reported to David the death of Shaul?
I don't think so. I think this is a different thing. That's Doeg. Is that yeah, that's Doeg. Okay, so here's the case. Okay, so it said.
That's a different Malachim, by the way.
What was that?
I mean, that story with Doeg and David and Shaul is a different Malachim.
Okay, so this is a thing. So it says. So this is in.
I think.
Shmuel Aleph this is Shmuel Aleph 30 and then pasuk 9. So David went, he and the 600 men who were with him, and they came to Besor Brook. I'm just reading the article here, where some men remained behind. David pursued, he together with 400 men, while 200 men remained, who were too exhausted to cross Besor Brook. They found an Egyptian man in the field and took him to David. They gave him bread and he ate, and they gave him water to drink. They gave him a cake of pressed figs and 2 raisin clusters, and he ate. And his spirit returned to him, for he had not eaten bread nor drunk water for 3 days and 3 nights. David said to him, "To whom do you belong, and where are you from?" He replied, "I am an Egyptian youth, the slave of an Amalekite man. My master abandoned me because I became ill 3 days ago. We raided the Cherethites and the territory of Judah and the south of Kalev, and we burned down Ziklag with fire." So David asked him, "Will you lead me to that band?" And he replied, "Swear to me by God that you will not kill me nor hand me over to the master, and I will lead you to that band." So I think it means like he basically like bribed this kid, and then this kid like blabbered all the military like plans and stuff, you know? So he's saying that these are the 2 people who will publicize things that shouldn't be publicized. The fool who gives in to Hakira, to Drishan Hakira, like if people ask him about it, and then the person who's going to do it intentionally, like Doeg. And he's saying you shouldn't mix with either of these people, because they're going to get you in trouble by revealing things they shouldn't reveal.
I mean, the one lesson that I learned from this is that if you're going to interrogate someone, find someone who's a blabbermouth.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to go. Yeah. Yep. Oh, by the way, I have a proof. No, it's not a proof. Never mind. It's too elaborate. Okay. I think as much as I wanted to go over the Meiri, I think we're facing with the same problem that the Meiri that prevented me from reading him last week. It's too long, and like there's he gives all the interpretations. Look at the Meiri there, and then the Meiri for tonight's pasuk is even longer, even though he starts off by saying, "I already explained this before," but the Meiri is good. And then the other thing I wanted to approach this with, which is the derech nigla, which is that sod. If you interpret this pasuk as sod referring to ideas that are secret, you know, like ideas in Torah that are secret, I think that'd be really interesting to apply it to and giving guidance in those, you know. But I don't think we have time for that tonight, so we'll have to call it quits and then maybe discuss it in the Mishlei after party if you're interested.
Wait, really quickly, can you just go back to the doc, like with the ideas for a second?
Yes. I'm just let me share again. Yeah, I should write Rabbeinu Yonah while we're here. Yeah. You know what, let me just verbally repeat all of them like I'm supposed to do at the end. So Isaiah's idea is that revealing a secret even once should classify the person as a gossiper, and therefore you shouldn't mingle with him if he's a blabbermouth in this way, because then there's sensitive information about you will get out. Avital is saying that this is really talking about the danger. It's highlighting the danger of the person who is enticing with their lips that spreads the gossip even more. Moshe and Ariel and Metzudas David were saying that these are 3 ways that people blabber, either because they lack self-control, or they are doing it intentionally and each of them has their price, or they just can't, you know, or they just love to hear themselves talk. And you might have rationalizations for each of them to say, oh, well, he's not like the other 2. And it gets increasingly, the violations are increasing in how they're, how quantitatively numerous they are. Zach says that it's warning you against who you let into your group, and that people with enticing lips will work their way into your counsel and earn your trust. But then that same quality is going to lead to the gossip, to the spreading of your stuff outside of the circle through gossip. And then Rabbeinu Yonah is saying that it's saying that don't tell yourself this guy might reveal secrets, but he wouldn't violate the Isser of Rechilus, Rechilus, okay, Kamash Malan, if he can't control himself, then he will violate that Isser, and be especially careful if he is is a blabbermouth who doesn't think at all before he speaks and isn't precise. And then Saadia Gaon says there's two types of publicizers. Publicizer is not a word, I guess. Intentional, like Doeg, and unintentional, like the Egyptian
Publisher, maybe?
Amalekite. No, publisher is a different profession. Amalekite kid who blabbed for a fig cake.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
I just thought of another question on Rabbeinu Yonah.
All right, sure.
What kind of a Havmin is that?
People do this all the time. I mean,
I think. Yeah.
Well, let me just qualify my question.
Yeah.
Putting aside that, he won't be violating the Isser Rechilas, like, why would you ever tell anyone a secret? Like it's the
sometimes you have to tell people secrets.
But if you know he's a blabbermouth and you're telling him a secret, he's gonna tell that secret to anyone anyway. It has nothing to do with the Torah and Rechilas.
Right. I mean, it's a hard situation, you know. I mean, it's not always like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say like you're working for a school, hypothetically, you know, and like you interview tons and tons of kids, you know, to admit them, and like you like have to talk about whether to admit this kid into the school, you know, and like secrets are told about, like, you know, behavior problem that this kid had when he was in 8th grade, or like, you know, whatever. And like, there's a faculty member there who is a blabbermouth. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, shut down the faculty meeting because like that faculty member is a blabbermouth? You know, like it's you know, you don't always have the clearest choice. But also just in terms of I mean, Yosef, I thought, gave a good answer to the question about what's the Havamina, is that people do think that authority, you know, that the superego is very strong. And the answer is, yeah, superego is very strong, but it's also very psychological because it's part of your psyche. So like, it just takes the right psychological circumstance to like weaken the superego, you know? Or if, let's take another case, right? Let's say like you have a very strong superego that makes you keep Torah, okay? And then your rabbi pressures you into, or your father, you know, some religious figure pressures you into violating rechilos, you know. And this happens to kids all the time also. It's like you have a well-meaning frum kid, but then their parent, you know, like pressures them into like blabbing about their friend, you know, and like they blab because their parents is bigger superego, you know.
Right. Well, my question really is, like, in the Havamina, it's telling you that, okay, don't think, you know, X. You know, however, in the Maskana, it's basically just telling you, just like, don't tell them anything. Like, even in this example that you told me, in terms of like the faculty member who is a blabbermouth, you can't just shut down the faculty meeting. But at the end of the day, he's still telling you not to tell anything.
Well, so it is interesting. Rabbeinu Yonah did make a differentiation here, which is not reflected in my summary. Rabbeinu Yonah said that the guy tells a secret, okay, that he is yeah, so he says the guy revealed a secret. He's gola sod mipnei sheyadame benafsho she'ein nezek leish begiloi. That this guy revealed a secret because he imagined that there's not going to be any harm that comes out when it's revealed. And he says, don't speak in front of him about the Ashmas Ha'am Umume B'nei Adam. Now, the Ashmas Ha'am Umume B'nei Adam is not necessarily secrets, right? You could be talking about people's faults in general that are open faults or open flaws, you know?
I feel like an example I think that might help Ariel's question is that, like, imagine a person is like having a conversation with you, and then he like says, wait, hold on, let me think if this would hurt anybody. And he says, oh, no, I don't think it will. Then he proceeds to reveal secrets. Then you think, oh, this guy thinks before he talks. So like he wouldn't therefore, you know, be over the voters, like the error of like Lashon Hara, because he's thinking before he speaks. but he just revealed people's secrets just because of his own like irrelevant calculation that it wasn't going to hurt anybody. Meaning like he broke trust, and now that this person is someone who's breaking trust, you might have thought that he had his fair calculations, but no, he doesn't. And this is a person who you shouldn't trust as like him to keep, your information or your secrets because of the fact that he's not, keeping other secrets.
It just seems to me that Rabbeinu Yonah is more focused on him violating the Isser versus him actually keeping the secrets.
He's just saying that
the pasuk is starting off with someone who already is revealing the secret.
Right. No, as if he just has a completely different approach. I mean, not.
Well, I mean, because the way he's saying it is the pasuk. He's learning the Havamina like a good brisker, right? Like Golasod Holech Rachel. So what's the Havamina? That Golasod is not Holech Rachel. And so he's trying to construct a scenario where that would be the case. Why would someone who reveals a secret, why would you think that they wouldn't commit rechilus? Because they keep Torah, and revealing secrets is not usher from the Torah. But revealing secret, but gossiping is usher from the Torah.
So he's just so I guess my question is like he's just under the assumption that whenever you there are times where you reveal secrets that you won't be violating rechilus, but
revealing secrets is not violating rechilus necessarily.
Right. No, I know. So my question really is, at what point because he's saying no, he will be violating the Isser.
Not through revealing the secret. He's saying he'll go gossip. He's going to go gossip.
So what does that have to do with revealing secrets?
Because the fact that he revealed the secret means that he didn't exercise self-control, that he lacks self-control in speaking, and that same lack of self-control will make him gossip, even though it's against Torah.
All right.
Not that the secret he was revealing qualifies as gossip.
Meaning like the same idea, meaning his psychology is like, oh, I'm going to reveal secrets, like the same mentality will him just naturally reveal gossip. I have an amusing example of this. I guess it's not revealing secrets, but early on when I came to New York, I went to stay at someone's house outside of the community, and it was a frum couple, and it was during the month of Elul, okay. And like I didn't know I barely knew the couple, but I didn't know all the friends that they had over, and I had been used to our community, like in our Shabbos meals, we're not speaking Lashon Hara and stuff. And so I was at this frum couple's house, and like the entire meal was them speaking Lashon Hara about their friends. And the way they would do it is they would say the Lashon Hara like, oh, this guy's an idiot, and they'd say in an Elul sort of way. They would just say the words in an Elul sort of way, kind of like elbowing each other, like ha ha ha, like it's like we're not really doing anything wrong, It was like the most flagrant, like, and that was like the whole meal. I was just shocked. It was like I was like such a naive, like yeshiva booker. I thought like all families like only have like discussions about Torah. And
what do you do in that kind of situation? Like, like do you just like say like not cool, or like what do you do?
I mean, what you really are supposed to do is you really are supposed to speak up. And I know I've said this before that when this was a what do you call? I'll say it again just in case someone hasn't heard before. The when we first converted to Judaism and we heard this halacha, then we had this set up at our own Shabbos table where whenever one of our guests like started speaking Lashon Hara, then either Johnny or I would spill a drink. And then it would like cause a commotion, and then we'd all have to like clean up. And then hope that the conversation like ended. And then there was one time where we cleaned it all up, and then the person said, anyway, as I was saying, and spill the drink again, but yeah, that's the if you really are like, look, whether or not you should try to stop them from doing it has to do with can you exert that influence? Like that's like Kishim mitzvah lomer davar hanishma, kach mitzvah shelo lomer davar shelo nishma. That you should, just like it's a mitzvah to say something that will be heated, so too it's a mitzvah to not say something that will not be heated. However, so let's say like
by Lashon Hara, it's like you have to listen, right?
So that's not like what you should do is you should like avoid the circumstance and like leave if you have to, and again, it's awkward. And this is my shot in, the Rambam. I don't know if you did heard my Sunday shiur this a couple weeks ago. I quoted the Rambam. I think I quoted the Rambam that Sunday shiur of the Yased Tialacha Allah Zainecha. So the pasuk says you should keep a peg with your weaponry, and then Chazal say you should take the two pegs, which are your fingers, and put them in your ear when you speak lashon hara, or when you speak lashon hara, when someone's speaking lashon hara. So Rambam learns from that, like it's a weird drasha. Rambam learns from that hearing lashon hara is just as bad as saying it. What I learned from that, like, why is it saying in terms of like plugging your ears, So I was learning from that even if like you have to like do something that is socially awkward, like then you should avoid it at all costs because it's that harmful.
Oh, but that makes sense though, because you can say that like if you're saying, oh, you should keep shalom, right?
Right.
You could say that that's not real shalom, right? In other words, like the shalom there is not valuable.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna turn off the recording now. Let's stop.